Well, hello there, Skywinders. Welcome back to another episode of Skywind007. On today's episode, we have this Asus computer right here. So I'm going to do a quick review on it, see if there's anything horribly wrong with it. I doubt it. So it's no top-notch computer, but I think it'll just, get you on the internet and a few extras. So let's open it up. Okay, so here's our Apple-inspired connector. I'll say Apple-inspired because it reminds me of the Apple connector. But that's strictly my opinion. And of course, the computer is over here. And this is the Asus Vivobook. So the name does not appeal to me, but I hope it works. So on the left, we have this regular USB port. So it's not a USB-C, but a regular port. If you're still using that, I am not. So this is kind of outdated. And if you look over here, you got an HDMI port and you got two more regular size USB ports plus a USB-C port. In addition to that, you have the headphone jack and what I believe to be the power port. Even though these are outdated, it's good that they include them because a lot of the flash memories, they're still using the regular size USB ports. And of course you have that one right there. On the back you have nothing. On top it's just the lid, and on the bottom you do have these rubber sliding things to keep it in place. Like I said, this is not a top-notch computer, but it'll do the job. First problem I see with it is this right here. Let me show you what an Apple computer would be like. Okay, so here's an Apple computer, and with one hand, this is what an Apple computer does. The MacBook, just one hand. But the vast majority of non-Apple computers, they just can't figure this out. Okay, so let's use both hands. There we go. It should turn on by itself. Most of the computers do that these days. They turn on by themselves when you open the lid. But not in this case. So before we proceed, I do want to look at the strange keyboard. So you got that sticker that tells you not a lot of useful information. So you have a regular keyboard over here, and then you have the pad over here, trackpad, and what appears to be a calculator. So I guess you can turn it on and off over here. We're going to find out how this works. But this is unique, and my MacBook Apple computer does not have that. So that's something to mention. And it's not turning on, so I guess I have to turn it on manually. Okay, so the instructions do say that the first thing you want to do is plug this in and charge the battery. So let's do that. I'm going to plug that in. It's out of view, but trust me, I'm doing it. And over here, you plug that in. And I'm not getting any kind of indication that this is even doing anything. You have to turn it around like this, and you do get these two lights. This one indicates that the computer's turned on, and this one that it's charging, and it will turn white when it's finished charging. So here's the power button over there. I guess you have to press and hold. Okay, so it's doing something. So here's the intro. I saw something kind of like static. I saw some more static. So we bought this. This is supposed to be a new computer, but it looks like somebody's already been here. As far as I know, this comes from Amazon. I'm gonna double check. But this is not good. Right here, it's not a good thing. I've never had a brand new computer that I unboxed and see this. I mean, this is crazy. It looks like Windows didn't load correctly. Okay, so we're gonna lose 2 stars over this. Now I see an afterburn. I don't know why. I mean, this is by far the worst computer I've ever reviewed. That from the start, there's something wrong with it. So we're gonna see if we can fix it. Very slow. I mean, when you're a MacBook person and you see this is crazy slow. MacBooks are like that. I know they're triple the price, but believe me, it's worth the money. They're worth every penny. And by the way, I do not work for Apple. I'm just being honest here. Okay, so I'm gonna have to pause because this is taking too long. Okay, here we go. So you get 3 languages. Not impressive because a lot of people don't speak English, Spanish, or French. But let's stay with English. I live in the United States, so let's go with that. But if you want to look at the countries, I don't think this matters. Probably has every country in the world. Not that it matters. So let's click yes. Now it wants me to tell it the keyboard output. I'm going to say US. No, I don't want to do that. We got to connect to a network. So I'm going to do that off camera. Okay, so I connected to my network and it's checking for updates. And by the way, the screen, it's fairly cheap looking. I mean, when you change the angle, you can see some, I don't know how to call it, some kind of distortion, not distortions, but certainly not the thing you would see on a MacBook. If you move it that way, you see shadows. Well, you can see it on the screen, I can tell right now. You move it that way, you see that. You have to look at it directly from the front. The moment you put it at an angle, you start seeing decolorations and backlit. It's like a cloud. I don't know how to explain this. But it's definitely one of the worst screens I've ever seen, especially when we're in 2025. I wouldn't expect this to still exist. This is like 2003. Terrible, terrible. I mean, I can give this an F right now as far as the screen. Yeah, it's not good. So let's keep going. I'm going to take another star for that. So we're down to 2 stars. Let's give this thing a name. Okay, I gave it a name off camera, so I don't want anybody to see it. Looks like we're starting over again. Okay, so it's still updating. Wow, this is crazy. When you buy a MacBook, you get to use it right away. If you want to update it, you can do that later on. But it's not doing this like you have this right here. And this is partly Windows' fault. I don't want to blame the computer. But look at the progress, 0%. 1%. 2%. I'm kind of happy. We're in 2%. I'm gonna have to press pause because this is not going anywhere anytime soon. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes and look where we are. 45%, 46%. So, and that's barely the first step 1 out of 3. So this is crazy. Okay, so it has been over half an hour, as you can see, and we are still on step 2, 81%. Okay, so this is a Windows issue right here. You cannot get to use this computer unless you set up an account with these people, like the Microsoft or whatever this might be. So you got these choices, like right here, sign-in options, security. You have to have an iPad or an iPhone or a security key somewhere. You can't just use it without setting this up. Okay, folks, so we finally made it. That was horrible. And now we have a computer. Seems fairly fast, but also boring. Okay, so I am going to YouTube. So it's my channel right here. Well, hello there, Skywinders. Welcome back to another episode of Skywind007. Okay, so let's test the audio with another video. Okay. That was horrible. One of the worst audios I've ever heard. My ears are hurting. There's zero bass. Zero bass. Okay, so this is definitely an ear torture device. So absolutely do not get it for any kind of audio hearing. It's terrible. But you can always add a Bluetooth speaker. So let me go get a Bluetooth device just to be sure.
Bluetooth hearing.
So let's go to settings. Okay, so the problem is solved. Just get something real nice like this Sony speaker, and that perfectly fixes it. Now we got all the bass back. Okay, so now let's test the colors. So this video is very colorful right here. Okay, so definitely the colors are all washed out. So the sound's no good, the color's no good, the screen is no good. Okay, so as far as the keyboard is very pleasant. The keys the keystrokes are very satisfying, so I'm happy with that. The trackpad is not as smooth as I wish it was, but it works. Okay, the camera, you can block it off if you want, like that. Like that, there we go, it's completely blocked. And like that, it's open. And now let's try the calculator. Here's the calculator app. Okay, so the app is over there. And I know you can't see it. Well, it's right here. So let's see if I can use it. 5 minus 7 equals that. Okay, so let's do 6 plus 6. 6 plus 6 equals 12. Okay. So let's do 81 minus 1 equals 80. Perfect. So that absolutely works. So I'm actually very happy with the calculator. Okay, so this trackpad does have this click function, but I do find that it is too, there's too much resistance. You have to press really hard. On my Mac it's very gentle. You just barely press and you can hear the click. But on this one, you have to press hard. Wow, this computer right now has been sitting here doing absolutely nothing, as you can see. Doing nothing. And it is warm. It is warming up. And you can hear the fan. So that means that it is struggling, even though it's doing nothing and it's brand new. I have not installed any apps, nothing. And the fan is just going. I know you can't hear it, but the fan is going. That usually means it's overheating. And you can feel the heat. That is a bad sign that this hardware cannot keep up with this operating system. Okay folks, so we have reached the end of this review, and overall I do not like this computer. I don't like it at all. This is more like a working computer, something that you give your employees to work with if you have a business or you own an office or something like that, but it's not something you get for yourself. It's just not fun. It's not something that you're going to use to watch videos or any kind of Netflix or movies or anything like that. It's just not for that. The colors are bad, the audio is terrible, and it's just not something that I like at all. The only pros are the this right here, the calculator. I definitely do like this. I have never seen this on a computer before. So if this is going to be used for accounting, definitely I would consider it. Though it's not a big deal. You can always just get buy a calculator from the dollar store or elsewhere, and you'll use that. You don't have to have this. Now, as far as speed, I am impressed a little bit with speed, but I do know Windows computers over the years. Sorry about the thunder. And they do slow down over time. That's not the case with Mac. If you have a Mac, Macs do tend to stay fast the whole life of the device. I had a Mac, the last time I had a Mac, from 2012 to 2022, that's 10 years, and that Mac remained fast. It slowed down a little bit, but it remained fast. Now, every single Windows computer that I have ever had is fast when it's new, and then it slows down. So this computer right now, it is fast, so I am a little bit impressed with that. I do expect it to slow down. So my final view on this, and sorry about the thunder again, it's raining outside. My final view is that this is not something I recommend, and I will give it a 2 stars out of 5 for the reasons that I mentioned. You know, it's lousy. The display is really bad. The colors are washed out. The audio is terrible. It gets an F for the audio. Worst audio I've ever heard. And there's nothing fun about it. It's just a boring computer. It is a working computer, and that's it. 2 stars out of 5. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and thumbs up.